Hi, Cory Geiger along with Neil Rudel. We just got finished with the Penn State Media Day. Got to speak with Coach O'Brien this morning, the players also on the field at Beaver Stadium. Not an overly significant amount of news today, but Bill O'Brien did get to address a number of topics, one of which, and I know you're writing about this in the Mirror, Neil, one of which is this university moving forward and stopping some of the, fighting about how much they want to gripe about the NCAA sanctions and the appeals.
Yeah, I was surprised because O'Brien has really picked his words carefully in a lot of instances. If he doesn't want to answer a question, he's not going to. He rarely talks about what is discussed between him and one of his players. But he did say, we've got to stop fighting. And I think he's the guy that people are looking to for leadership to move on. Of course, he has to with a football team. He's trying to distance the football team from the scandal. But I was impressed with him. I continue to be impressed with how he's handled such a difficult situation, and anxious to see how his team performs.
It is an interesting component because him, Rodney Erickson, the president, Dave Joyner, the AD, they're trying to move forward. They've accepted the sanctions, and I know a lot of people don't want to, and they want the university to fight. But doesn't it send the wrong message if half the people at the university are accepting them and then half you have all of these appeals?
Yeah, clearly you still have a university community that's divided, and you probably will have that for a long, long time. But O'Brien had nothing to do with those. Today is Football Media Day. You mentioned there wasn't as much news. I think that's the product of how much availability there's been with him over the past few weeks. He made news over the summer by announcing Matt McGloin as the starting quarterback, and it's kind of gone from there with a number of different press conferences.
McGloin's a starter. Bill O'Brien did say today that Paul Jones will definitely play. So Paul, the backup quarterback, obviously highly recruited. It'll be interesting to see how they utilize him, because in this offense in particular, this is an audible-heavy offense, something we haven't seen here a lot. The quarterback in this offense is going to go up to the line of scrimmage on every play and read the defense and try to get the team into the right play. Now, if you've got one quarterback who can do that very well, that's one thing. But if you're going to be moving quarterbacks in and out, who knows how well Paul Jones may be doing that? That could be a little bit of a tricky issue.
Physically, he's got a lot of gifts, and you've seen that in limited time that we've had exposure to him, mostly blue-white games. But he's a big, rangier kid with a bigger arm than McGloin has. So I think it's smart to keep the door open to getting him in there. But clearly McGloin is their starter. Charlie Fisher, the quarterback coach, did assure me that it's probably doubtful that McGloin and Jones will be on the field at the same time. We've seen that in the past.
How about this, though? There could be 3 tight ends on the field at the same time. Both Gary Gilliam and Kyle Carter said that. Now, that you want to talk about wild. I mean, we know with this Patriot-style offense, with what Gronkowski and Hernandez did in New England, that we're going to see the tight ends utilized more. But to me, that's fascinating because Justin Brown leaves. The leading receiver on this team in terms of catches last year had 5. So if there's not a lot of experience and depth at the receiver spots. If you're going to have 2 and 3 tight ends on the field on every play or so, that really causes some problems for the defense.
They don't have a lot of depth, but I think there's still a lot of good players in the program. And of all the guys that did leave, I really question Justin Brown leaving. I think he would have caught 50 balls this year. I don't think he was necessarily a great player, but he was the best receiver they had. But I think the system will lend itself to a Kersey maybe catching 35, 40 passes.
Sure, and I don't begrudge any of the kids for leaving. Justin Brown has a chance to play for a national championship catching passes from Landry Jones. No one has been more pro Matt McGloin than me, but if you've got a chance to catch passes from Landry Jones, who could be in Heisman contention, or Matt McGloin in this offense, I understand, as Silas Red called it, a, quote, business decision. I get why Justin Brown. It's strange, though. There's no question. He was a senior.
I bet you can't bet. I don't know that he would have as good a year as he had last year. And I'm not even sure he had a great year last year.
No, he dropped a lot of passes, no question. Bill Belton, the running back, looks good, looks like a good player, but he's unproven. Silas Red leaving. So to me, Neil, the double whammy. If Silas had left on his own, but you still have Justin Brown, okay, well, that's a problem, but you can still get around it. Losing your top running back and losing your top receiver, I think that this offense is going to be dynamic and fun to watch down the road. Maybe they get the right personnel. I have serious questions how effective it's going to be given the fact that there are a lot of players in key positions who don't have a lot of
Well,
experience.
that's true, but I think these receiving parts that guys can fill in and be as effective as Justin Brown.
Okay. All right. And defensively, the front seven will obviously be the strength of the team. Bill O'Brien talked about he loves the defensive line and the linebackers.
Yeah, I mean, their linebacking core, and he even mentioned Hull because Hull was talking about transferring to Pitt, or at least that was a lot of speculation. They do have a great linebacking core. Of course, you have Jordan Hill. Hodges looks like he has a potential to be an All-American.
And the secondary.
And Adrian Amos is going to be a good player.
Yeah, the secondary is a big concern for me, though. He mentioned 5 players there. The depth is going to be a major issue in the secondary. They've had some guys get dinged up in the secondary in years past. And we're talking the Big Ten, though. We're not talking the Big 12, where they're going to come out and throw the ball 40 times. But still, that depth in that secondary, I think, could be a major concern.
A couple little house items. The Mirror's College Football Tabloid will be out Saturday, August the 25th. And then we'll be into our game day week. That'll appear on August the 31st. And then the Nitwits will be back this year. And we'll be doing the Paterno Presser.
Season record.
Paterno Presser,
Nope.
excuse me. Some traditions never die.
Big slip. Season prediction? Record prediction?
You know, Todd Irwin, he never found me. And Todd got every
He'll
prediction but me.
get you later.
I'm going to say 7-5. I thought it was going to be an 8-4-ish type of year before all this went down, so I'm going to say 7-5. I still think they have a lot of good players. It wouldn't surprise me if they win at least 7 games.
I had them at 8-4. I'm going to go 6-6. I was back and forth between 5-7, 6-6. I think they can get off to a 3-1 start with a loss at Virginia. That means you got to win 3 Big Ten games. I think they can beat Indiana, beat Purdue, maybe Northwestern. I just don't see a 4th Big Ten win, and I don't think they're going to win at Virginia on the road and against a pretty good Cavaliers team in week 2. So I've got 6-6 down from 8-4. I just think those losses are just too much to overcome.
The last time you and I made a bet, I think I won, right?
What was that bet?
That bet about Scott Norwood and his miss.
Yeah, I was wrong on the yardage. He had it right. So, all right. For Neil Rudel, I'm Cory Geiger. Thanks for tuning in. We'll be back here all season with our video updates from Penn State football. Thanks.